And David Blaine joins us now. Good morning. Oh, I mean, it was a dramatic rescue. What was going through your mind when that was happening?
I was pretty much out of it at that point, so they pulled the body up when I was unconscious. So at that moment, I wasn't aware of anything, and then the next beat, I realized I'd failed, and I was wishing that they would have left me in there a little bit longer.
No, I think there might have been some kind of problem if you'd have stayed in there a few minutes longer.
Yeah, they probably did the right thing.
Yeah. I mean, you know, we always describe you as an illusionist. How much of that is illusion?
Those aren't illusion, actually. When I do certain magic pieces, they're either sleight of hand or they're based on illusion, but I guess that makes people confused, but those aren't.
So you risk major damage, don't you? You risk damage to, for example, well, brain damage, obviously, liver damage, amongst other things. Is it worth it?
Well, the thing is it's not like I just jump into the water tank for a week and then try to hold my breath for 9 minutes. I spend like a year training every single day, and I treat it like a real goal, and I focus and put all my energy into it. So I'm not like some madman that goes and just tries to risk his life.
Now, you're wearing, in that shot, we can see you're wearing gloves and I think shoes as well, aren't you? Or not rotten shoes, but sort of like stuff over your feet. No. Why was that?
We had a sorbeline cream, and my hands are still chapped at this point, but, you know, when you're in a bathtub for too long, your hands get really pruned and really mangled. So the pain becomes overwhelming. So what we did is we put a cream in there, which is like a Vaseline, put the gloves on, and then it was supposed to help, and of course it didn't.
But actually, in your feet there, they're just, I mean, it's incredible.
Yeah,
it's incredible. They don't look like feet anymore, do they?
No, that's the after effects of a week of water submergence.
So do you think it's worth it?
Well, you know, what was amazing to me is I always try to imagine these things like if I was a little kid, what would make me kind of wonder and daydream and be curious. And I always thought the idea of an aquarium with a human being in it would be really bizarre and attractive at the same time. So I did that, and the result was a lot of little kids would come repetitively, and when they would come up and put their hand against the glass and I would touch the other side, their eyes would open really wide, and it was like seeing a magic trick almost. So that was worth it.
The trouble is, I mean, what's next? I mean, the sort of path that you're on, it's getting more and more dangerous, isn't it? We want you around, David.
Well, the next one I decided I'm going to take all safety measures out, so the way the safety divers were able to jump in and invade the space because they were worried for me. The next one, there will be no ability for anybody to enter, so it's me either doing it or not doing it, but nobody can interfere.
Now, I read somewhere about the fact that you wanted to go and do something in the jungle somewhere. Is that still on the cards?
That's not a stunt. That's more of a documentary where I want to live in all different parts of the world that are really dangerous because we perceive them to be, but they're nature, and human beings can actually get along in nature, so I'm going to show that.
Right. Now, just before you go, and I know we're talking to you again a bit later on, but you were at the Beckham's party, the pre-World Cup party last night. Didn't, in fact, get in until about 2:45 this morning, so thank you very much for getting in.
No.
What was it like?
It was a lot of fun. I was excited because James Brown performed, but it was a really nice group of people.
And what were you doing there? Were you doing magic and illusion? Or?
I always end up doing something. I think I kept biting people's glasses, but I had a few, so I don't remember as clearly as I probably should.
Well, thank you very much for coming in. And as I said,
you.
we're going to be speaking to you just after 8 o'clock. But thank you very much.
Thank you.
8:13 is the time, start of another week. Now he is an illusionist, he's a showman, and he's famous for crowd-pulling endurance stunts. Threatening they are as well. David Blaine is with us throughout the morning. Very good morning to you. Although, you know what, I'm just glad that you're around now, because it wasn't easy, was it, this last stunt that you did, the human aquarium?
No, it was a really difficult one. I hadn't anticipated that it was going to destroy me by the end.
You know, it seems like they're getting more and more dangerous, these stunts, as we go along. Here's a little bit of David's history.
It was David's exciting new style of street magic that made the public first take notice.
Turn to page 30, and you're going to feel something and see something happen.
Oh my God! Then came the first of his ambitious magic stunts. In 1999, he spent 7 days buried alive in a glass coffin in New York. In 2000, he spent over 61 hours encased in a block of ice. Then in 2002, he spent 35 hours standing on top of a 90-foot pillar, which was only 22 inches wide. And then, in September 2003, David spent 44 days sealed in a transparent box next to Tower Bridge, earning the admiration of some Brits.
He's wicked. Good for him, why not?
But not all.
What he's doing is farcical. It's a nonsense.
Finally, this month, David spent 7 days in an aquarium and then attempted to beat the world record for holding your breath underwater. But this time, this stunt was unsuccessful and ended in a dramatic rescue.
Happy memories, David?
Yeah, I don't remember the end part, but the rest was, yeah.
No illusion there. That was happening, was it?
Yeah.
And they had to rush in and save your life, didn't you?
Well, the object was I wanted to hold my breath longer than any human being ever has.
Why?
Well, I mean, as a little kid, I used to go into the swimming pool and see who could do it the longest, and I would beat everybody. And Houdini's big thing was he was the underwater master, so of course, me being super competitive, I had to go further and further.
And Houdini died doing this, didn't he?
In the movie, he died in a water stunt, which I thought was an interesting, but in truth, he actually, people used to punch him in the stomach because he said he could take any punch, and somebody hit him and he was bleeding internally, and he didn't go to the doctor. He wanted to do a show, and then he passed out after the water torture and died.
You sound like an authority on Houdini. Is this an inspiration for you? Is this the man?
He was the guidebook that I had as a kid, so he was the one that I was always in competition with directly.
So what is next for you? What could you possibly do next? The trouble is, your graph is going very steeply towards a bad end, isn't it?
I don't look at it that way. I mean, I think if you love doing what you do, and if it ends while you're doing it, I think that's okay.
Well, it almost ended after this human aquarium stunt, didn't it? How are you doing physically now? I mean, is there some residue from this? This is your last moments. This is from Drowned Alive. This is on Saturday at 9:45 in the evening, the program itself.
What happened was I went unconscious at the end. I think it was from holding my breath for so long after a week of being in the water. My system wasn't nearly what it was meant to be. So in training, I had gone a lot further, but on the final one, I blacked out, and they jumped in and pulled me out and saved my life pretty much.
And we've got horrible pictures of the state of your feet and hands afterwards, where they just look like, I mean, they almost look like you've got frostbite. They don't look like feet anymore, those, do they? How did they feel?
What happens is, I guess it starts like when you're in the bathtub for too long and your hands start to go pruny. But then after that, what happens is they start to get really painful. It becomes like you have paper cuts all over your hands, and then it becomes pins and needles, and then they become useless. So at the end, when I did the breath hold, I was handcuffed and chained, and I had to pick these locks, and my fingers were rendered useless, so it made it really difficult. So I think that's when everything started to go wrong.
And how it happens now?
Now they're, besides being chapped and dried, and you know, the skin is peeling off. Other than that, they're okay.
But these are all the outside bits. It's the inside bits you have to worry about, isn't it? Liver, kidney, heart, everything else. You've been fully checked over?
I had organ failure, and on day 3, the chief neurosurgeon, one of the best brain surgeons in the world, who's up at Yale, who was is a friend of mine as well. He was looking after this, and they were taking my blood in the sphere. And he said, "We're pulling you. This is over. You have organ failure. Your liver and your kidneys stop functioning." And I said, "There's no chance in the world that you're pulling this out. I'll come out in 4 days, dead or alive, basically." And I knew that I wasn't going to be dead. So, you know, the panic spread, and everybody wants to pull it. And I said, just give me more liquids to keep my system going. And obviously, I wasn't eating in there. I hadn't eaten for a week before, and I knew my system was beat. And by drinking lots of Pedialytes and good liquids, my liver, 2 weeks later, was back to normal.
Yeah, good food and drink. That'll keep you going. Did you have some last night? You were at the party. I think I said it was in Buckinghamshire yesterday. It's Hertfordshire that you may not know that, but the Beckham's party. How was it last night?
Well, I can tell you, since being out of that sphere, I've been a maniac, just eating everybody. So if anybody's plate was in my vicinity, I was basically grabbing their food as well.
What was it like? What did you have there? Was it good food?
Really great, yeah.
You know, you heard of Gordon Ramsay?
Yeah, it was really, he was the chef. His food was amazing, actually.
Yeah, that's right, yes, excellent. So what time did it all finish up for you last night?
Well, I knew I had to do this show, so I made a point of leaving by 5.
No, well, that's very, that's very good. We were a little
always do that as well. We always make sure we leave any party by, well, 4:30.
Last drink at 4:30, really. Last drink at 4:30. Good to see you, David. What's the next stunt that you're going to do, just briefly?
It'll be the most mind-blowing and the most ambitious one to date.
We'll put some meat on those bones when we get to it. David, good to see you.